if you've never fished a tube for bass, that is something I think you should try. And in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to rig a tube. And I get asked all the time, is this just for smallmouth bass? No, it works for largemouth and smallmouth bass. There's a few different ways to rig it, but I'm going to go over with you guys what is the most effective. So the first portion of this video is going to be me showing you how to rig the tube the most effective way. The second portion of the video is going to be 10 to 20 second clips playing that are silent, that visually show how to rig the tube. The third part of the video is going to be me talking about the baits, the weights, the sizes. And the tube that we're going to use for the demonstration, of course, is the Strike King coffee tube in the natural goby color. This is my favorite color tube. I've had the best luck with this tube for smallmouth bass and largemouth bass in a lot of clear lakes. So we're going to take that, and then we're going to take my favorite tube jig, which is a Strike King Tour Grade 1/4 ounce tube jig head. So Strike King coffee tube, okay? Tube jig, coffee tube. Here we go. Now, I get asked all the time, why do I use a natural goby tube? That is because it is a natural food source for smallmouth bass, and largemouth bass will also eat them as well. Gobies came to the Great Lakes, I believe it was in 1990. Okay, and at first they kind of didn't know what to do with them, and then they eventually started eating them. But anyway, all you do, like I said, Strike King coffee tube, natural goby color. You can do green pumpkin, you can do melon perch, a whole bunch of others, but natural goby is my favorite, okay? All you're going to do, take your tube jig, take your tube. You see how half of the tube is green? Half of the tube is like silver black flake? Well, you can do it however you want, but I recommend putting the green part of the tube on the top and the blue part of the tube on the bottom. And you're going to take the tube jig and put it in the middle of the tube. And literally, all you're going to do is you're going to press it into the tube. Like I said, this is a 1/4 ounce size. 1/4 ounce is standard. You can do 1/8 ounce, 3/8, half ounce, whatever you want to do. You're going to press the tube jig, to the end of the tube. And you're going to pop the line tie free. That is your tube jig. That is how easy it is to rig a tube. You see that? See that? That is a deadly effective tube for smallmouth bass and largemouth bass. Here, straighten it out. That way, there we go. See how there's the green and the silver. The green and the silver. Wanted to make that even. Do you have to make it even? No. But do I like to do that? Yes. So, that is how to rig the tube. Now, for the second part, we're going to show some visual stuff along with the ones we've actually already had. And then we're going to talk about baits, colors, weights, and sizes. Now, real quick, one more thing is I've had people ask, can you take the tube jig and go through the top of the tube and whatever? You can do that, but I don't recommend that. In my honest opinion, that's like the lazy way to do it, okay? I do it this way, and then like, even though this is totally off topic, like when I do a Texas rig, like you'll see how I rig it slow. I also rig this slow. Do you have to do it that way? Does it have to be perfect? No. Is a bass going to eat it if it's not perfect? Yes, but this is just like a personal preference thing. I like to have it rigged correctly, and if it's not, I will fix it. But anyways, actually, before we go any further, you will also see, because I talk about the goby, this is by 2K Jigs. It's a 3/8 ounce goby profile tube jig, and it will actually imitate the shape of a goby. Like I said, gobies are a great food source. And then you do see your Venom tube kit, okay? And you'll see on the package it does say, with new death grip hooks. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the Smalley tubes, where the hook was like pointed like that, and as long as you do some kind of movement, you're going to get the hook set. And then, of course, you do have the original Gets It tube. Yes, I got this at Walmart. Yes, you can get these at Walmart, Dick's Sporting Goods. Try not to drop it. And the color is, what is it? It is olive smoke. It is a 4-pack, and it says it is a 3.5 inch. Even though it is a 3.5 inch, you'll just notice that it is a little bit of a not as wide as a coffee tube. But anyway, there are the tube jig heads. Kind of wanted to go over that. I didn't want to take too much time. Now we're going to go over, like I said, the colors. You do have the natural goby, which I already talked about. You have the Savage Gear goby tube in the goby color. We're going to have to take this out of the package and hold it up next to a goby coffee tube. Now, Matt Goes Fishing originally got these last year, and I was like, yeah, man, that's cool, whatever. I didn't try it. I saw it the other day. I picked them up. I'm going to have to do a challenge video with this tube right here. I just think that's really cool. I mean, it might not be as effective as these, but I really like it. And then you do have the Power Bait Power Tube in the green pumpkin color. Do fish really hold on to power bait longer? Yes, they do. See that? See that green pumpkin? It has a different texture and a different durability, I guess, than the coffee tube. Green pumpkin is a great color on Lake St. Clair. So is the goby and the natural goby, but then another color, this is a Zoom tube. It's a 3 3/3, 3.75. Like I said, 3 3/4, 3.5, 3.5, and then a 4 inch. I have used a 2.5 and a 2 3/4 tube, or like a little Finesse tube, or even like a Z-Man little TRD tickler that kind of looks like a tube. But like I said, 3 and 4 inch is basically where I go. 3.5 is my favorite. And then flip this Zoom tube over. It is the Root Beer Pepper Green Flake. You see that? That looks really good. So anyways, so what we're going to do is we're going to open that Savage Gear goby tube. And if you want to know my opinion, yes, it actually does look like a goby. I mean, that's what Savage Gear does, right? Oh, wow. Look at this. I didn't realize that it looks the way that it does. Look at this. But, you know, too, look at it. See how you have natural goby and you have Savage Gear goby? They don't look the same, but they do look really close to the same. See that? I'm going to be throwing this for sure. On the back of the package, just to kind of go with a little bit of the description for the rigging. It does say you can fish it on a jig head, which is a tube jig. You can fish it Texas rigged, and you can fish it on a drop shot. But like I said, this is the most common way to fish the tube. And then people ask me all the time, like how do I fish it? Well, you could fish it on a spinning reel with braid, a spinning reel with braid fluorocarbon, or you could do it the way I do, which is I fish it on a fast or extra fast casting reel with like 16-pound fluorocarbon. I mean, and that's how I fish on Lake St. Clair. I use like a medium heavy caster with a high-speed reel, and that's actually how I fish the tube in a lot of places. But anyway, just kind of rambling. Like I said, green pumpkin, your natural goby, your root beer, pepper green. These are all great colors. Going to be trying the Savage Gear goby next year. I almost messed up my words there. And another thing too is I'll have to get a pack of the Magic goby, so hold on. If you look at the Magic goby, you'll see that it's a little bit darker, and it does have the yellow and purple flake that will also imitate a goby. And then you'll see, like, when you get some like the Poor Boy Erie Darters or some of the drop shot baits, you'll see purple flake. You'll see some blues, some greens. It's what it's trying to imitate. Okay, so that is going to be it for me for today's how-to and demonstration video. I really can't wait to try this right here. That looks so lifelike. It smells good. And I think it's going to catch a big smallmouth. I mean, like I keep saying, tubes are my favorite way. Well, one of my favorite ways to catch smallmouth bass. You guys see me use crankbaits, jerkbaits, drop shots, tubes. Even baits that I use for largemouth for smallmouth. But anyway, tubes are one of my favorite ways to fish. One of my favorite ways to catch smallmouth bass. And I've actually caught a lot of my big smallmouth bass on tubes. And so have other people that I know. So, with that being said, do me a favor and let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions about the rod, the reel, the line, the tackle, the tube jigs I use, the sizes, when I go up to a 3/8, when I go up to a 1/2 ounce, when I go lighter to an 1/8, when I use this, whatever. Let me know in the comments. You guys know I will respond to all of you. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't really do a lot of how-to videos. You know, back in the day, I used to say that I hate tackle videos. I hate how-to videos. Well, that is not true. I love them. They are just as much of an integral part of my channel as fishing and good sized fish are. But anyway, enough of the rambling. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time.